from what I remember learning 30 years ago to what the kids learn today can't be compared. And a lot of times I find myself having to sell Northrop to these kids. Part of my interviewing regimen, I've incorporated mentioning the Fablab to them, and these kids that I interview, you can just see their eyes light up, and that's when you know you have a really good future Northrop employee.
So I first found out about the Fablab when I was not a Northrop employee. I was working on now I know it as the Helping Hands project, where I was making 3D printed prosthetics. Started collaborating with Northrop employees who were also doing the same thing. Started working with them at the Fablab, and then eventually got brought in, and that's kind of how I got my job.
It's very important for me to be in a workplace that has a deep well of knowledge, because these are the people who will pass down their knowledge to sort of the younger generation.
While leading the TURN program to develop a subscale model, I found one of my biggest resources was the Fablab. All in one place, you had tools that were necessary, and most important, people. I was working on a project with one of my coworkers, and we were trying to figure out how to do something we've never done before, and over walks a guy who had 30+ years in moldless composite construction.
It doesn't matter what my title is when I come here. If we're working on a project, we're just working alongside one another.
So when you come to the Fablab, you feel like you can come and all you really need to get started is ideas. And you share your ideas, and the Fablab pretty much brings the resources.
When I tell my friends about the Fablab, they're in awe, they're envious, they're inspired. They say that they wish they had this kind of place in their companies.
One of my friends works in VR, and I was talking to him, and he was like, "What, you have this like collaborative space right on campus?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I'm so jealous." And I'm like, "You should be, because it's really cool."